And welcome back to the Registered Ranching Podcast Room with Tucker Brown, Willie Wardle, and a few guests. Willie, I am digging the new intro music.
It's pretty sweet, isn't it?
Dude, I think it takes us to the next level, actually.
The very next level.
The very next level. Welcome back to the Registered Ranching Podcast. Today, while I get my ranch fuel cracked open here, this is going to give us the energy to get through. Shout out.
Ranch fuel.
Yeah, you can hear our guest already in the background. Willie, today we want to talk about getting people involved in the industry. Internship opportunities, ways that students or the next generation can get involved with ranching. And internships has been the way that the R.A. Brown Ranch has done that. And you've seen a few of them. You've done a few of them yourself. Maybe not with ranching, but a little bit in Utah, a little bit.
Yeah, pretty much. You can consider that an internship.
Just an unpaid.
Unpaid.
Yeah.
But they took care of my expenses, and they gave me a place to sleep. And eat food.
Hey, what else do you need?
What else do you need? I had the 3 basic necessities of survival.
Well, we have our R.A. Brown Ranch internship runs from January to June and then June to December. And they've typically been students or recently graduated students have come to the ranch for those 5 to 6 months and done everything that we do, from feeding horses to helping evaluate cattle to helping us work our cattle, gather pastures, and you've gotten to be a part.
Yeah,
Kind of jump in on the internship really since
pretty
you've been
much.
here.
I've kind of just hijacked it until they like, hey man, it's kind of just for the interns. Why don't you just press record and that's it?
I didn't say that. Well, so we have 3 of our interns here today. One has already left us, went to work down in South Texas, but 3 on their, kind of closing out the internship. One leaving, you're leaving Saturday.
Saturday.
Yes, sir.
And then Anna, you're leaving in 3 weeks? Yeah. 3 weeks. Grace. Yeah,
Another
we'll talk
2
about
years.
We'll talk about that one. Can't get rid of Grace. Anyways, I do want to welcome our 3 interns to the podcast. Caden Radenbaugh. Did I say Caden?
I think you did. It's just Cade. Cade Radenbaugh.
Cade Radenbaugh.
There you go.
Anna McTaggart and Grace Oyer. Welcome to the podcast.
Appreciate it. Happy to be here.
So, Cade, we'll start with you. You started talking first, so.
Fair enough.
We're going to start with you. Just tell us, so people are always asking me on social media, how do I get into ranching? I want to ranch. I wasn't born into it, or I worked with my grandpa. How do I get into it? You did. So tell us a little bit about maybe your ranching or ag background and then how you found this internship.
Absolutely, Tucker. So my immediate family is not involved in agriculture at all. So I didn't grow up in my younger years being involved in cattle or farming or anything of that aspect. But I'd say in middle school, I was gifted a longhorn heifer by my uncle, and that introduced me to the show cattle industry and moved into club calves, showing a few Maine-on-Jew heifers and a few other registered cattle for some folks, and really enjoyed that. Found some great people, enjoyed getting to go across the state and go to the major shows, and quickly turned into livestock judging. Did that in high school and a little bit in college, and just kind of started to grow. My passion started to grow for the industry, for the people that are in it, and I wanted to learn more. Got to learn a little bit about what to look for in livestock that you're showing in the ring, and then once I was able to find this internship, I was able to put that into a more applicable way, able to evaluate cattle and look at a ranching side of things that were more real world, day to day. So I've just been pretty thankful to be here. I came out here on a livestock judging trip a few years ago. That's where I first heard about the ranch, and then I was able to submit an application and got chosen to come out here. And so,
did you learn about the internship whenever you came and judged here?
It was mentioned, yes, sir.
It was mentioned.
Yes, sir.
Who was that with? Glenn?
Yes, sir. Glenn College.
That would have been like 2 years ago?
3, yes, sir.
3. Dang, you're kind of old.
That's right, just a little bit.
But
Cade has been around in the area. He has a lease that's
True.
how many miles outside of town from here?
It's 7 miles just outside of town. Hunted whitetail, turkey, hogs, coyotes, everything like that. Been on that lease for 5 or 6 years, so somewhat familiar with the area. Already got to enjoy some Tia Osie's tacos before I got out here. And, heard about the ranch and heard nothing but great things about the family and y'all's progression in the cattle industry and your ability to produce top dollar bulls. So happy to be a part of it.
Did you say where you're from?
No, I did not. I'm from McKinney, Texas, just north of Dallas. So just a kid from the suburbs, didn't know anything about it. But I just took it one step at a time, just growing my knowledge in this industry and being around greats like y'all that are able to share some of your wisdom.
Come on.
Yes, sir.
I'm blushing, dude.
I see it right here.
Do that. Can't see it under this red beard, but. All right.
What does that mean, Anna?
So, yeah, we're going to. Cade, we'll come back to you in a minute.
Absolutely.
Anna, we're going to go to you. Anna, why do you talk so funny? Can you talk to us about why you do?
I am from Australia, so I hope you can all understand me.
Oh.
My accent.
Well, do they have electricity?
We do, actually.
You do?
Recent, actually.
Recent.
A couple of years.
Well, Anna comes from Australia, and quite a different background. That's one of the cool parts, Willie, that I like about the internship is just the different types of people that have come, whether they come from the suburbs of Dallas or whether they come from deep Australia or whether they come from the
Swamps of Florida.
So Florida. Anna, tell us how did you get to the R.A. Brown Ranch from Australia? Talk into that mic.
So I was planning to travel this year, planning to travel Canada, and a friend of Dad's, he has done like genetic work, I think, with R.A. Brown Ranch, and he heard I was coming over here, so he was like, there's this really great family in Texas you should visit on the way up to Canada. I was like, yes, and I'm so glad I did.
And so you're here how long?
2 months.
2 months. You
Yeah.
kind of jumped into the middle of an internship.
Yep.
Our 3 interns had already been here. You jumped in on the middle of it. Was that difficult?
No, not at all. I feel like, yeah, you guys were also welcoming. It made it really easy to fit in.
And in Australia, how did you grow up?
I grew up on we call it a cattle property or a cattle station. That's how I grew up. It's the same as a ranch, yeah.
So your family works for a station, or what did that look like?
Yeah, no, we owned it, yeah.
So you got to do. You grew up working on the ranch.
Yes, I did. I guess I didn't really appreciate it much, like while I was in school. And then ever since coming out of school, I'm like, wow, I actually love agriculture. I love working at home. And yeah, it's taken me to cool places like this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. And did you know is it a commercial cattle business, registered cattle business at home?
Yeah, commercial.
Commercial.
Yeah.
Had you worked at a registered operation business before?
No, I haven't before. It's all new to me.
Yeah. What's been the most different part in the cattle business in the U.S.?
I guess like the whole operation here is different to what I'm used to, but like you have a lot more, I don't know, hands-on with each beast kind of thing, more than I'm used to. We kind of just stick our cattle out in a paddock and, yeah, you see them every day, but like you don't have them in the yards every day. Oh, what do you call them?
Yeah.
Cows.
Well, I think that's part of registered ranching too. Just being in the registered business.
Yeah.
I think that's a large difference because the same would be true for commercial businesses here of not being as hands-on with each individual animal, more as a herd rather than the individual animal.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's interesting. So what are we going to do when I go to Australia in 2027?
You should definitely come to Beef Week.
Yeah.
It's every 3 years. It's a great event. There's just one on this year, which I'd missed, but
Were you sad to miss that?
I
What
was
is
very
it called?
sad.
Beef Australia?
Beef Australia, yeah.
Beef.
It's just a
Beef
week.
Australia.
Beef Australia.
Wasn't that good?
Yes. It's getting there.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
Well, that's so cool. All right, Anna, we'll come back to you in a second. Moving over to the swamps of Florida.
Down on the bayou.
You've had a
Bayou.
you've had a couple different names while you've been here.
That's Louisiana.
I was about to say
My bad.
wrong state.
Still the swamps.
Still swamps.
Still to the east.
Not the right state.
Gatorland.
Yeah, Grace, tell us where you grew up and your background in ranching.
So I'm kind of like Cade. I didn't grow up with a background in like cattle industry, farming, none of that. I grew up showing horses, so I had a little bit experience, but I never had with the cattle side. And so when I got into college, I had a reproduction background, which I was really heavy involved with. And I switched it over to cattle reproduction. I started shadowing a vet. Her name is Dr. Kelsey Savell, and her husband both kind of mentored me. And I told them I wanted to venture out into the cattle side. And then one of my professors, he was also one of my big mentors, Dr. Todd Thrift. And
He's a good one.
he's a really good one. So Kelsey, Jesse Savell, and then Todd both kind of pushed me to open up and come into experiences.
Yeah, and so kind of for you and for Cade, your like you knew you wanted to be a part of it. So a part of your schooling and teaching was to get into this.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you worked 3, 4, maybe 5 years, 6 years, whenever you're going to graduate, Cade.
Someday. We'll get there someday.
But Grace, you worked for 4 years to really get your foot
In the door.
into the door, and then relationships you make are huge during college, because we get maybe 40 to 50 applicants, and the interns that we typically hire come from the greatest references, and those are ones that we have really good relationships with, including Todd Thrift and including why am I going to forget his name? Mustache professor.
Joel.
Florida. Yes,
Joel
yes,
McQuaig.
McQuaig. Like those relationships are what got your foot in the door for us to really not take it seriously, but like to get to the interview. You can have a really good application, but when there's 50 really good applications,
Yeah.
just those relationships go so long. And it's the same for you, Kate. You had really good references. I don't remember who they were because I didn't make those calls, but I know that that's what got you to the interview process for you to really have your shot at saying, here's why I should have it.
Absolutely.
And then turns out from across the world, Anna has this really good, like works hard, and her dad's friend is like, hey, you should stop here. And that's a guy that we trust enough to be like, we've never seen her work, but if you say she works hard, then we're in. And I think that's what a lot of people maybe don't take advantage of enough, is that network. What did Morgan say about network?
Your net worth is your network.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I think there's a lot of truth to it.
Yeah. Credit to Morgan Ruggles for that quote.
That's kind of how you got here.
Yeah. Network,
Yeah.
100%.
Dang, that's crazy.
I didn't even think about that.
Mine's
but yeah.
blown right now. How did I get here?
Same way.
Same.
You did. You went to college. You used your network ability
I
to
did.
come back to the ranch.
I did. Yeah.
Yep.
My dad met my mom. Was that what you said?
FFA. I know the whole story. Donald told me all about it, so I'm kind of curious to hear. I'm curious to hear Miss Kelly's side of the story, because there was a lot of really acted out parts,
Oh, God.
and it was like the end of our drive all through East Texas.
So you're already kind of crazy?
We were already getting pretty simple, and then
Yeah.
Mr. Donald gave me the whole story.
I believe that. Well, in our peanut gallery is Kelly Brown. I'm going to hit the cheers for you, Mom. Getting the claps. Thanks, Mom.
This appearance is brought to you by Ranch Fuel
And Bedrock Truck Bed.
and Bedrock Truck Beds.
Cade, back to you. What's been the coming in? We kind of gave you the lowdown of what this internship would be like. How was it different than what we told you? Or was it?
I don't know if it was explained, the certain challenges that come along with getting on a horse for the first time.
Hey, another good point.
Yes.
Is it like that even though that's a barrier mentally for someone just to apply, like, oh, I don't know. I don't know how to ride. I can't be an intern.
Absolutely. And it wasn't anything that y'all were, lying to me about or not providing the information to, but just that gap of experience of getting on a horse for the first time, it's a large one, and not just sitting on the saddle, but staying seated.
Staying in the saddle.
I remember the first time we unloaded horses off the trailer in the pasture.
Were you nervous?
I was excited. There were some
didn't
nerves
know.
there for sure, but I was like, I don't know, this is kind of easy. I'm just sitting here.
Easy.
And then they're like, all right, we need y'all to go get the cows on top of the hill. There goes Rhodey. There goes Grace. They're trotting off. All right, I guess I got to spur. Get old T moving. He started moving, I tell you what. And there was sunlight between my rear end and the saddle. I don't know. This is bad radio. Maybe you can see it in the camera, but I was just bouncing. I tell you what. I almost lost a stirrup and came off the horse. And there was a couple weeks there that it was almost discouraging. Like, man, I just don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know what I'm doing wrong. And it was quite the learning curve, but it wasn't anything that that y'all weren't telling me. It's just time on the saddle and just getting to learn it through experience. So I wasn't prepared for that that long of a time period to be uncomfortable in the saddle.
Yeah.
But it's been pretty neat just going from 0 to 60. And I'm just thankful for it. I don't know what other opportunity I would have to not only be horseback, but this frequently and in a real life working setting. I know there's still quite a bit of ground for me to cover in terms of my horsemanship. But I'm pretty proud of where I've come and able to find my seat and get out there and hopefully be a positive member of the team and in the jig line. So
Look at you using the big words.
try. I know I had to write that one
ranching
down before we
words.
came in
Cowboy.
here. Yes,
Practicing
sir.
your
Someday.
Jig line,
You don't look at my notepad.
latigo,
Cinch,
yearling,
Veenlings.
Veenling. And so, Grace, you've this is your second internship with us. We didn't touch on that. You internshipped in
June.
the summer and fall, June through December, and now this one.
Yes, sir.
And you're more on the repro side. You said that, but maybe the summer and fall one wasn't exactly that.
Yeah.
What are the differences between the two from an intern standpoint?
Oh boy, there's a big difference. I think fall is our October sale is so big.
Yeah.
That is what it's mostly geared towards, which we're always with the bull health and all of that, but because we have so many bulls in that sale, that's what mostly we're towards, is making sure that sale is like there. And I think a lot of it for summer and fall is keeping the maintenance of the ranch a lot like higher priority, which it's all higher priority every single day of the year.
Right.
But I think we can like focus on it more there too. And then in spring you hit the ground running.
Right.
Like first day, I'm pretty sure we were night checking, tagging
heifers.
calves. Yep.
Yeah. Right to it.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the spring side is reproduction work. So
I remember your part of talking to you whenever you were going to get the internship the first time. You were excited, like you had been talking about Vitelli and doing some repro work with them, but you decided to internship with us, and I'm sure you would have had some opportunities to get a full-time job or a better paying gig somewhere else. So what made you decide to intern again?
Oh boy. I love this ranch so much that it's like a family, and I wanted to stay so I could get more experience and learn more. I definitely could have gone other places, but
Was that a flex?
I don't think, no. I don't think I would have gotten the experience here or like anywhere else than I did here. And I think the managers, Kelly and Donald, like y'all are so willing to teach. And I think a lot of other places like sometimes sees someone that doesn't have as much experience and they bring interns and they have interns, but they're also not willing to throw them into the fire and be like, well, you got it, we'll stand behind you, you figure it out. And here does. And I think that's one thing that I really why I wanted to stay is because y'all want to
that.
help us.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, you're only like our second. I think you're only like our second intern to intern again. We've had some stay longer, but never have to reapply and have that competition of other really good applicants to do it again. So that I don't know. That's cool. And now
I'm a full-time employee.
do the claps. Now you're hired on. That hasn't happened since. When was Andrew hired, Mom? 2010? 9? 2009?
That's BW
What's that?
before Willie.
B-Dub.
Way before Willie.
That was Maryland, Willie.
I was in 4th grade.
Yeah, 2009 was the last time we hired on. We used to hire on a handful of interns, but that hadn't happened since '09. So high five. High five to Grace.
Grace.
Thanks, guys.
Anna.
Oi. Aussie.
Yeah,
Oi, oi, oi.
yeah. We have. I should have played that. We have learned a lot about Australian words.
Yes.
Perhaps too much.
Yes, I was going to say, I'm not sure all of it's good.
Can we circle back to Ranga?
Oh yeah, she called
I
me a
called
ranger.
Tucker a ranger earlier, which is what we call redheads.
Ranga's
I'm not a redhead.
And where does this
Ginger.
come from?
Strawberry,
Ranga
strawberry blonde. Oh, I messed that up. What is it? Strawberry blonde.
Blonde.
Yes,
comes
I don't
from
know.
orangutan.
Dirty blonde.
yes,
Orangutan.
orangutan. I guess.
Oranga.
is where
Oi,
that-
mate, she just straight up called you an orangutan.
And I came from the.
That's
over the-
Willie's
over
Aussie
the way.
accent. I would say it's more Irish actually.
Yesterday,
Who has?
More British.
yesterday it wasn't too shabby yesterday.
See, I don't know what that one
Shabby
is.
was hard.
Shabby.
Who has the best Australian accent besides you?
Look,
Oh,
Willie's
pressure.
pointing to himself right now. I'm gonna look past that. Maybe Tucker. I hear he practiced a lot during
I did.
college or whatever
I
you
did.
call it.
I did. I had a. Yeah, that was my favorite thing.
Yeah, I feel
Whatever you call
Uni.
it. Yeah, you call it uni.
Uni, yeah,
See, those little words are funny.
yeah.
Wheel cakes.
We learnt. No,
Okay.
that's not one.
We learned that Australians call donuts wheel cakes.
No, they don't.
It's a well-known
Cade-
thing.
Cade wants
established
to make that a
fact.
thing.
Yeah, Craig has started to create Australian words.
Yes.
That's right.
And wheel cake is a
Donut.
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 Apparently, it's not.
It makes
coming
too much
home.
sense from Australia. Like a lot of the Australian words, whenever you call something different, it's like a very simple description.
Yeah, like a itchy grub.
An itchy grub. It was like what was it? A fuzzy worm?
Yeah, those fuzzy
Or a
caterpillars.
bend-
yeah, a
Bendy.
little fuzzy caterpillar.
A bindi.
There's a prickle.
What is a bendy?
A bindi is like a thorn.
Yeah, prickles.
Yeah, prickles. It's a bindi.
Yeah.
Like a sticker.
I don't know why they called.
Oh, I left my Crocs outside, so I stepped on me a bindi.
Yeah. See,
Pretty much.
See,
he's got some work to do.
Got
but
me a
he's
bindi
getting
stuck
there.
on my toe.
This is a lot better than the first time I heard it.
okay, great. Not Grace, Anna.
Yes.
First of all, you need a registered ranching hat. I have you one.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, look at that. That's so much better. Is the hat you have on? What is it?
It's my sister works for that company. It's
Oh,
like a big ag company.
but you work for this one.
I do. I'm going to take this back to Australia.
Paraguay Cult Challenge.
Yeah.
Tan bar.
Yes. I don't know where that is actually. In Australia.
Neither do I.
Throw that thing out there.
I think it's close to the island of Tucumcari.
Tucumcari.
That's where Tan bar is.
Oh, you think so?
So close, Willie.
What's been your favorite part about the R.A. Brown Ranch?
I actually think it's meeting all you guys.
Yeah?
Like, I love you guys.
I'm blushing under this
really-
red beard again.
Emotional, but like, I've been here a month and I feel like, I don't know, you're just so welcoming. I felt comfortable straight away. I haven't felt like left out or anything because, like you said, I came in at the end of the internship, so you guys have already known each other for, like 5 months? Yeah, I just feel like it was easy. It wasn't hard at all to move over here.
What's been your favorite work?
I really like the horse riding.
Yeah?
It's a bit different with the Western saddles to what I'm used to. Without the horn, we don't have the horn in Australia.
Oh, and you went to your first ranch rodeo too?
Yeah, that was so cool. Yes.
The Western Heritage.
Yes.
You didn't spend any money there, did you, Willie?
No money spent at all. It's a really good job of being mature and saving it.
Good job.
Good job.
That was all a lie.
So the horse work, gathering the pastures and
Yeah, mustering the paddocks.
oh yeah, sorry,
Mustering
Yeah.
paddocks.
mustering the paddocks.
Yes, that's definitely been a favourite. Yeah, I really haven't. There's nothing that we've done that I haven't disliked.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's been.
And you're
new.
going to Canada next?
I am going to Canada next
Hey.
month at the end of start of July.
Ranching.
Ranching, hopefully, yes. I'm traveling for a month with my friend and then ranching
Oh.
after that.
Where in Canada are you going?
Canada.
That's how the natives say it. You wouldn't know.
Willie would know. He's a local.
Yeah.
I actually don't know. I'm going to Calgary Stampede first.
Oh, heck
Oh,
yeah.
I'm jealous.
Yeah,
That's pretty sweet.
hopefully. And then, yeah, I'm just tagging along with my, is that a word? Tagging along?
Mm-hmm.
With
Yeah, you
my,
said it right.
with my friend's family. I think they're traveling around for a bit, so I'm just going to join in with them.
How cool is that?
Yeah,
I'll have to reach out to my friends at Sunnyvale if you need a place to crash. Ricky and Julian.
thank
And
you.
Bubbles.
And J-Rock.
Bubbles.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Bubbles.
She was a sweet girl.
Yeah, we
What
used to
happened to
have a bottle
Bubbles?
calf named Bubbles.
Oh,
Grace.
I wasn't sure what kind of animal you were talking about, or a person.
Bubbles, I feel like, wasn't.
Rest in peace,
I
I
was more of a
guess.
Chewy fan.
Yeah, we have a few bottle calves every year that need some help, or they're twins that get kicked off. And Grace was very an important part of taking care of those animals.
Chewy was a sweetheart. Bubbles' mom was kind of a witch.
What do you call them? Bottle-fed calves.
Bottle calves?
Is that your name for them?
Yeah, or like a dogie.
A what? Dogie.
A dogie. Dogie
Yeah,
calf.
that's definitely haven't had that one. We call them potty calves.
Potty.
Yeah, potty calves.
P-O-T-T-Y.
No, D.
P-O-D-D-Y.
This
Putty.
is a potty podcast.
I love
Same
that.
word.
I'm going to start saying that.
Welcome
Oi,
to the
mate, so
potty.
we got ourselves a potty calf over there, and we need to go get some.
Potty calf.
Grace, what were you wanting to do? No, wait, how did you hear about this internship?
Okay.
Florida's
so-
really far.
Florida. Oh,
Florida,
I
yeah,
guess
that's
I
why.
never
Oh,
even
you
said
didn't.
where
You
I'm
didn't
from.
say you were.
I'm from Fort Myers, Florida.
Tell us
Fort
about your
Myers.
childhood.
Isn't that a real ranchy part?
It's very ranchy. 12,000 people plus
Yeah.
population. Yeah.
Is that sarcasm?
Maybe not a ranchy. Yeah, if you didn't sense it, that was really sarcastic. But how far are you? I mean, you're not far anywhere from Florida.
No.
Being ranching stuff. I mean, I bet you could go 30 minutes and be
Yes.
at a ranch.
I think it surprises people when you say Florida. You can probably get from coast to coast 3.5 hours.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
So
Dang. How long does it take if I went from like Key West all the way to like Jacksonville?
that's a little bit longer because it's
The long way.
the length of Florida is the longest part than side to side.
So that's a pretty long drive, though, wouldn't it?
Wow. Geography.
Yeah.
You see, because
Crazy.
it's that way because of the way that it is.
Just
Is
like
why
an
it's like
aspen.
that.
Yeah.
Just like an aspen.
Anyways,
So yeah, you came from Florida. I actually think now that we sell quite a few bulls over to Florida, we go to Florida Cattlemen's. We have quite a few of the same, quite a few of the same people. I actually think that Texas Cowboys and Florida Cowboys have way more in common than maybe any other state.
Yeah, I would say so.
I think so, huh?
Florida's my second favorite state.
Well, I mean,
Have you ever been? Oh, okay.
When I was like 6 or
that would've
7.
been
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I think so, because anytime I go there, they're like, "Oh, you're from Texas. You think you're a cowboy, huh? Sit down. We're the original cowboys, cracker cowboys." And then anytime Florida people come here, Texas
Texans say
cowboys,
that.
they're like, "Ah, "You're from Florida, huh? Sit down. Let me show you a quarter horse real quick."
Yeah.
They're both super prideful in their state. They're both super prideful in the horse that they ride, and then like even the community is the same. I remember going for the first time to a ranch in Florida, and I was like, Florida Cowboys ranching, like that doesn't ring to me. And it was at the Kempfer's grandparents, and we walked in, and they were having chicken fried steak and sweet tea and mashed potatoes, and I was like, I am happy. I am home. And so since then, yeah, I love Florida.
Florida's great. I love it.
I love Florida.
But I like
But hang on. We didn't talk about how you were not. Yeah, you did a little bit. What did you do? But you didn't ranch. What did you do?
So I showed horses, but once I got into the University of Florida, that's kind of when I started getting my involvement in this industry.
Yeah.
And first I shadowed Dr. Kesley Savell.
Yep.
And she works for, part-time she works for herself, part-time she works for Vitelli. So I got in with that side of things there. And then Jesse Savell is the manager of the beef units at the University of Florida.
Yep.
So he and Kelsey both let me go and work their personal cattle, and then he hired me on at the ranch. There's like 3 of the beef.
ranch.
Yeah, the college ranch. There's like 3 beef units, and I was at the one at the university. And I worked there, mostly just feeding, taking care of what we had there, making sure health was good. And then Dr. Thrift, I took all of his like beef cattle production classes, and he had like hands-on experience, so I got to do a lot of hands-on experience with him. And then we started a show team, a Brahmin show team. I was the second year, and I got to kind of get involved doing that a little bit.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
And we went to Houston and then 2 shows in Florida.
Huh.
Yep.
So really, ranching was not. Wait, did we say how you heard about the internship?
No.
Yeah, we didn't. I asked that. I did, but we didn't
So,
get there.
I guess like R.A. Brown is pretty big at the University of Florida. Like everyone knows about this ranch, and
We stay quite involved, or we try to.
yeah, y'all are pretty involved with the university down there. And I knew about y'all before, but then when I got there, that's kind of when I started to like really research. And that's when I started talking to professors. Joel, even when I started talking to him about it, he was like, I think you need to apply. Jesse as well, and Todd. And I was like, I don't know. I don't really know like if I have like enough experience to be able to apply for this place. And they were like, no, just do it. And I said, okay. So I applied, and
Here you are.
here
Here you are. Now you're hired on full time.
I am.
I just keep going back to that's the cool part. Like we had the other intern we had for this rodeo comes from South Texas, bull rider. Grew up roping and riding and rodeoing, and that's definitely more of his wheelhouse. That cowboy skill, right? And then we have Cade, who's never rode a horse before, and then you, who's more like the horse show side, not much involvement in working cattle, but likes the repro and all of that. So just a lot of diversity in skill set
Yeah.
that we hire because we need it.
Yeah.
I mean, it all kind of sets up from anytime we have new interns come in, it's fun to see where they settle on who leans towards the horses, on who leans towards taking care of the calves, on who leans towards who's Donald going to call when he needs bulls evaluated.
Yeah.
Which it seems like, Cade, you've liked that a lot.
Absolutely, absolutely. I was fortunate enough, like I mentioned earlier, to be under some of the greats like Joe Rathman and a few other people that helped out at Blinn College and really shared their knowledge of reading livestock and cattle specifically. But getting outside of the contest, outside of the show rings, and being able to apply reading cattle, but then you're somewhat reorganizing your priorities. And I've been super appreciative of Donald being able to simplify and break things down for me and allow me to understand, all right, like maybe circumference of bone isn't that important. You know, we don't need a big fat hind leg on a show steer. It's not a high priority. If we have cattle that are sound, functional, we can look past that. So it's been really neat to see how you can apply that to the real world and have your new set of priorities.
Yeah, they very much. I mean, it seems like it separates a little more every day between production and the show ring. You kind of grew up, maybe not grew up. I think you've had more experience in the show ring than you have in production ag.
Yes.
But now seeing both sides of them, what are the biggest differences?
Well, I can tell you that we're not working hair on these bulls.
Right.
We're not gluing their legs and carving them out.
Nope.
Some of the biggest differences is we're not as worried about how these bulls are looking just visually, like some of the extras. When you're in the show ring, everyone likes a calf or a heifer with that freak neck that sticks out there and looks pretty. And you learn out here that a lot of times that relationship between that long refined neck comes with some other undesirable traits. So seeing that we're looking for those moderate or Goldilocks sized cattle,
Yeah.
big rib,
Using that
deep
DB,
sided,
using
that's
that
right.
Donald Brown words.
That's right. We're just looking for productive cattle that can quickly improve a herd,
Right.
and create more profit for a rancher.
And you got to be a part of the sale.
Yes, sir.
What was your favorite part of the March bull sale?
My favorite part, I was able to step in and do some bidding for a customer, and that was pretty neat because I've been to a number of sales, got to bid a couple times, but to help represent a volume buyer, it was somewhat stressful at first. You get in there and things are moving quick, but you realize that y'all put together a really good team of ringmen and auctioneers that they're not pushing you hard. They're honest people. They take care of you.
Yeah.
So I was able to get acquainted rather quickly. Got some bulls bought for a customer, and I'd say that was my most enjoyable part. Once I got comfortable and was able to raise my hand and get some bulls bought.
All right, Grace, let's hit the other side of that coin. You've been here for 2 internships, this one ending here at the end of May. What has been your least favorite job? What part have you hated? What part made you like, why did I come back for this internship?
This is probably the silage pit.
Oh,
It's been a problem since day one. Like our first day, I remember it poured, and I remember being told, y'all need to go to the silage pit and fix it. And we did, and it was just pouring on us the whole time. And I just think it's probably
bad
been
start
one of
and then stayed that way. Yeah, so the silage pit, that's part of our feed stuff. That's what we feed our bulls, and we have to stack it and put it in like a salad bag, basically. And that salad bag, when ripped open, needs to be closed, and it is not very fun to close because
Giant tarp with
Yeah.
tires tangled and tied all together
yeah,
to weigh it down.
and it was 6 degrees one time when it happened.
Yeah. I remember that because Tyler and I were breaking waters
While we were fixing
while
it.
y'all were fixing the silage pit.
Yeah, you didn't want to come help us?
I mean, waters for bulls, silage pit.
Golly, yeah, that wasn't fun. Cade, least favorite. I mean, whenever you're an intern here, you are going to do some, which we do the bottom of the totem pole work too. Like
You're gonna have to use a probe.
yeah, we help. Everything that you've done, we've already done too.
Oh, absolutely. And not only have you done it in the past, but y'all will be right there next to you
Yeah,
doing it with us. So that's made it a lot easier to get through some of those harder jobs. I think what's pretty unique about y'all's race going into the squeeze chute is if you clean it every day, it's
cleans itself.
self-cleaning. That's another little
Donald Brown phase.
Donald Brown.
Phrase.
That's right. I guess I could mention that as something that was not as desirable. It's not that hard, but no one
Scooping it.
could sit there and really enjoy working a shovel with manure, but it's not much. It's just a drop in the bucket in terms of the whole experience. So,
Right.
like I said, or like you mentioned earlier, Donald or you will be right there next to us with a shovel, with a broom.
I'll be leaning on it, but
That's right.
I'll be
It's
by you. I'll be by you.
I'll be in the proximity watching
Yeah.
you go.
We'll watch.
That's right.
Playing Monopoly Go. Is that what you said?
Y'all will be. Golly, that music's going to haunt me.
Forever.
Y'all had it playing over the speaker. Goodness.
Pretty quickly though when you quit your Monopoly Go. Now you like a Monopoly.
That's right. That's right. I was a Monopoly goer. Deleted the app.
My name's
Good
Cade.
for you.
I,
No longer
had
no
an
longer
addiction to
roll the
Monopoly
dice.
Go.
But
Will, you have any questions for him?
I do have a couple, yeah.
Yeah, hit 'em.
I guess the first one would be for Grace. How has, now that you've been on a horse and you're working cattle, how has that changed maybe your perspective of growing up showing horses, how has that changed your perspective of horses? And then also how has your horsemanship changed, gotten better, or things that maybe that has helped you be better at now working cattle with the horses? There's a big difference from being in the arena
Yeah.
and doing all of that and then now actually going out.
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. It's been a whole different perspective being on a horse here. I guess like I've never worked cattle off like horseback. So having to like go from a show side to like real life, like you're out there every single day, has been challenging because I never showed ones that would go super fast. So I think I had to start getting comfortable to being like, I can trust this horse to like
Yeah.
go and I'll be okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably a challenge of mine that I've had that I think it's been, I don't know why it has been, but it's been weird to me to like let a horse just run.
Oh yeah,
if I
especially the
need
first couple times it happens, like with a horse running off too. Sometimes,
Yeah.
like that's a scary feeling.
Yeah.
100%.
And it's like you just have to work the horses different. And I think the ranch geldings that we have here, they breed, like
Top of the line.
R.A. Brown has a very great
Yes.
genetic.
They do.
Bulls, horses, cows,
package.
all of it.
People.
Yes, people.
Yeet.
And like I've told, like in my interview to stay, I told them, I said, like George is the ranch horse that I mostly ride, and I was straight up like he has taught me the most to like work cattle on him
Yeah.
because he knows where to be in the right time. So that has taught my brain to be like, okay, I need to be here instead of like where I want to
ma'am.
be.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think being from the horse show side and coming to do like real life work, horses just have like, they can do so many things and great creatures to be a part of, to have them, to be able to work on them, to know we depend on them to get the job done. Mm-hmm. It's been a cool side to see.
Thank you for answering that question.
You're welcome. Hopefully that was good enough.
No, it was. I just think that's weird because like I'm like Kate. I didn't grow up riding horses. I think I got on a horse maybe like 1 or 2 times before I went out to Dale's, and then the first time I really ever been on a horse was getting on Boone, and I think it was the first day I got off the plane and I got on Boone. And we went and gathered guacamole.
First day.
It's like, golly, like this is. I was just sitting on the horse, like Boone was just
Letting him do
following
it.
him around, and like Dale's going like gathering them all, and like it was just like too much information at once, like overload. So pretty similar story with Cade. Like they could hear me
Yep.
wherever I was. They didn't have to look. They just heard me
Slapping your butt on the saddle.
not
Slap in the
sitting a
seat.
trot, and like I honestly like didn't really start enjoying riding horses until I don't even know, probably getting out to Utah, kind of just started getting more used to it.
Yeah.
And once you get past the point of worrying about just staying on the horse, that's when I think it starts getting a little bit more enjoyable. And then like you get past a couple horses that test you, because then you're always like, well, I'm just on this bomb-proof horse, so
Yeah.
like I just still don't want to get on something that's a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
And then once you like get past it a couple of times, like, hey, I'm still alive. Like then that's when I think it starts getting a little bit more enjoyable. But that just always fascinates me. Like people have grown up showing horses and now transitioning into working cattle, and like that's a whole entire different aspect of
It's a different
your
world.
horsemanship. Yeah.
And it was like, because I had to change the way I ride too, because showing horses, I had to be stiff. I had to be like,
Proper.
I'm showing.
Yes, ma'am.
I have to sit a certain way, all that kind of stuff. And out here, I have to be like loose with my body,
Yep.
because it's like we could have a cow going one way 1 minute and
Mm-hmm.
then it change its mind and we have to be going with it. And you can't be stiff.
You're
while
playing defense the
doing-
entire
Yes.
time. It's almost
And-
like basketball. You're just playing defense.
So I think it's definitely a different way to look at it. You have to adapt your body to the ride, like the riding that you're doing.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Cade, where are you heading after this?
Headed
Not
back to,
after this podcast.
well, probably back to the ranch.
Yeah, after.
Speaking about that,
You need to go burn the trash.
we do have to burn some trash. gotta feed
After,
bread.
so Saturday's your last day.
Yes, sir.
I don't think you ever said you go to A&M. I was ready for a whoop.
Oh, today? No. I'm not going to be in your face. I'm wise enough to know who I'm around. But yes, so returning to College Station, take some classes, get graduated, hoping to work alongside some of the people there in the Beef Center and some of the contacts I have there in that Brenham, College Station area.
Yep.
So
Have you grown your network here?
absolutely. Oh my goodness. Met some phenomenal people.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned earlier, we're so grateful to have just honest, hardworking people in this industry and people that really care. And you see them at the sale, might only share a couple words, but people come up and find you, whether it's at Western Heritage or another show or event, and they remember things about you. They ask how you're doing. But no, absolutely. I've been thankful to have grown a network of some really knowledgeable, hardworking people.
Mm-hmm. What if somebody were applying that were similar to you? I think more people are going to be in your shoes rather than Grace's or Anna's. But from your shoes, not born in it, not raised in it. If they want to get in, they ask me all the time on social media. Most ask question. I want to be involved. I'm super hardworking. I'm passionate. How do I get in it? You got in it. What do you say? What do you say to them?
I would say get involved where you're at right now. Build up your knowledge, somewhat of an understanding of cattle, the industry, how they exchange hands. Just reach out to whether it's a college, university, any contacts you know. We mentioned how important it was to have a network earlier today.
Yeah.
Just start there, whether you're working shoot side with someone, maybe you're just watching from the ranger as someone gathers. It might even start, like for me at a young age, in the show ring, where it's completely different than the real world, but at least you're understanding. You're growing that knowledge base of cattle. I'd say just get involved. If you have anyone you know that's in the industry, just ask for help. Everyone's been more than willing to reach out a hand and show me what they know.
Yeah, you kind of had some family help you get a foot in the door with that Longhorn, and
Yes, sir.
and kind of took it off on your own. And Grace, it sounds like you really took hold of of college,
I did.
and those contacts really helped you get to where you are. Anna, what'd you say you're looking? Oh, you had an interview to get into uni.
Yeah, next year, starting January, hopefully. Find out end of June.
The whole college deal is different in
Yeah.
Australia. And what do you call it, a gap year? Is that what you call what
gap
you're in?
year. Well, I'm technically on my third gap year, so usually it's just one. Yeah. So I don't know if I can call it that anymore, but I think the uni I want to go to, they are looking for people with experience.
Yeah.
A couple of years of experience out of school. So hopefully I'll get in there, but if not, I'll just work next year again, get more experience, and then apply again for the year after.
Yeah. And so you are going to Canada for how long?
I don't really have an end date, probably 3 months maybe, 4 months.
Dang, for a while.
Yeah, it's weird thinking like I'm not going to be home for 5 more months.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, but it's been so good so far.
If somebody, I mean, you traveled across the world to where you didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
And I think people in the U.S. could have that same feeling of leaving a more urbanized area and going to a place, not that you were at an urbanized area, but going out to an unurbanized area, being very overwhelmed with a new place, not knowing someone, away from home. You know, what do you, if you were to give advice to somebody about that, what would you say?
I feel like as long as you're willing to learn and step outside your comfort zone, then you're going to go places.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Stepping outside my comfort zone was a big thing, like coming over the other side of the world when I didn't really know what to expect or like what you guys would be like. But it's all worked out. Like, it's not as scary as it seemed a month ago before I was here.
Did you do any social media work before you got over here?
I did do some stalking, yes.
Are we different Are we different in real life than we are on social media?
No, I think you guys are very transparent.
We're a lot more handsome in person. Is that what you were going to say?
Of course.
Yeah.
Were you already subscribed?
What did you say, Grace?
I said handsome.
Grace, I won't put you on.
Were you already subscribed to Registered Ranching before you came here?
I'm sorry.
I think we should start with this question.
Now,
Are
look
you
at the cap
subscribed?
I'm wearing.
Oh,
Are you currently
my
subscribed?
God.
Are
Give me the
you're
hat.
I
kidding
will
me?
be. I will be.
Give
As
me
soon
the
as I
hat
finish this
back.
podcast.
Bloody.
I do
Bloody
watch,
Aussies.
I watched the YouTube videos though. I promise.
Oh, you watched
So
them?
you've watched them, but you haven't pressed the
I
subscribe
don't
button?
subscribe to
Even
anything.
worse.
It's even worse. You don't even like them. You're like, oh, I guess I'll watch another one if I have to.
Well, I don't have like an account. Can you subscribe without an account?
No, that's all right.
I'll make an account. I'll subscribe.
We'll see.
It's kind of too late now.
Okay. Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry. Oh no.
No.
Not her. All right, Grace. New interns coming in.
Oh,
You're now full time.
it's kind of scary.
Yeah. What are you gonna for these new interns coming in, or new ones that are wanting to apply? What's your advice for RA Brown Ranch internship, or ranching internship in general?
I think I kind of like back off of both of them. It's like, just don't be scared. Like, and I know it's hard because you're going to a new place, or like applying, but it's like, you're never going to know unless you do it. Mm-hmm. And coming here, it kind of like, there's so much going on in the ranch. Like, I don't know, you tell me if you agree or not, but I think it takes a month to really understand this ranch. And that's not even like, there's things that I don't even know still. But like, to feel kind of comfortable, I felt like it took me a month or two to get in. But it's like, I think you have to kind of live off fear a little bit, because if you don't, like, you're not going to really, like, you'll go somewhere, but it's like, how far can you go without living off fear? So.
Yeah, and then I don't know, those that are applying, like, you're gonna be told no. Mm-hmm. Because we have 50 applications and only 3 can get selected. And so what other opportunities should people maybe be looking at? That's a question for all 3 of you, really.
I think more like, I really put I put y'all just into my basket. I only applied here.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't have done that. I should have.
Was that a flex too?
No, stop.
I applied to one place and I got in. I'm Grace.
I knew I was.
No, y'all stop.
I'm
I did not mean
full-time.
that. I did not mean that. But I just meant like, you need to also look at other options too, because you're going to be told no in life.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been told many times before. But I think you just don't be scared to apply somewhere, because you're just not like thinking that I'm not going to get it. And like, that's how I was here. And like, it literally took all 3 of them being like, Grace, come on, like, please apply. So I just think having the right mindset too, and having an open mind, because every single ranch you go to is going to be different.
Right.
And I think that's a lot of people struggle with. They like, luckily, like Kate and I like weren't really born into this industry, but like he's done things outside of this ranch, and I've done things outside of this ranch, but getting here, you learn how things are done differently, and you just have to kind of go with that and not just be like, this is the way I know, and like, I'm not going to do that. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that at any job. So it's like, I think that's one thing I say to any interns applying, just have an open mind,
Oh, for sure.
because you just
Especially
can't-
with us.
Yeah.
I mean, we do things a little different than a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's better, but we do it different.
Yeah. And be honest on your applications. Don't lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had that.
Yeah. So that's another thing I
Come
would
back
say.
and get you. I will say, like, all 3 of you, like, a credit to your guys' characters. I haven't heard one of you guys complain once about, like, you guys are so open-minded and such a positive. I mean, Cade, you probed for 2 days. Anna probed for I don't know how long before I finally felt bad and was like, all right, I'm going to do something here, because poor Anna's been in here. And, like, but even then, like, you're cracking up, you're joking up, like, and it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You've been probing since 8 a.m. Mm-hmm. And, like, not a single thing. I mean, Grace, you last fall seemed like it wasn't ideal circumstances. Like, you kind of got a baptism by fire.
Yeah.
And yet you still want to be here and continue working at the ranch. Like, and Anna, you as well. Like, you guys have never complained once. So, like, what's kind of your tactic? What's your reasoning behind that? Like, how do you guys do that? Have such a cheerful mindset and so positive still, and able to work super hard. On top of that, what what's your guys' tricks? Because I think like that's definitely not just something for future interns, but just anyone in their life. Like, what do you guys do? Your mindset, kind of explain that to me.
Well, I try to narrow things down one day at a time. And what's today, Willie? Do you know what today is?
It's the day after the big jump.
Oh, here we
Today is a
go.
great day to have a great day.
Oh, I thought we were about to
Cade-
talk about the
Cade
big
will say
jump.
that every morning. Every morning, Cade will say that. You know what
today
today
is?
Great day to have a great day. I
That's
love
right.
that.
And sometimes you're smiling through it. You know, you're tired, especially when it comes to fertility testing or sale prep. You're lacking sleep. You're hungry. We're irritable. We've been around each other. Seems like every waking hour.
No more wheel cakes.
No more wheel
more wheel
cakes.
cakes.
Shout out to Dr. Poe and Gigi.
Yeah.
Goodness.
GG.
Bringing donuts every morning. No, I think it's a choice that you have to make.
Mental block.
And some days it's harder to say, hey, it's going to be a good day. We're gonna enjoy it. But I just love laughing. I like to. I'd rather be in a good mood than not. So if I can fake it
Sucks to be in a bad
for a
mood.
few minutes or even a couple hours till I come around.
You're gonna convince yourself eventually that like,
Absolutely.
hey, this is actually really not that bad.
No, and it's really not.
No,
in the grand
it's
scheme
not.
of things, you're around wonderful people. You know, you're doing honest work, and everyone here is doing it alongside you. You're not getting forced into a scenario or into a job that they wouldn't do themselves. So if you can just take a step back, take a deep breath, and realize today can be a good day, you just make that choice and try to make some jokes,
I'm going to
smile.
continue that onto the next.
You better.
Yeah.
You got to keep it going.
Yeah, I think you made a good point there. If we see an application and call the references and they say something about a bad attitude, like it's automatic gone.
Yeah.
Because this place will bring a bad attitude out of you if you have it.
And if you show that bad attitude, it's gonna leave a bad taste.
And when you're fertility testing bulls for 5 days, for long days, and there's no wheel cakes, bro.
It's not a thing. At least I made
Oh my goodness.
Hey,
I
that
think
it is.
in the
It,
Steve Irwin movie, he called them wheel cakes.
Pretty sure.
I think like even picturing too. Like,
yeah, those
Picturing
jobs where
we-
you have to do that to every single animal, are for 800 bulls,
Yes.
500 bulls, whatever it is, depending on the time of year. Like that's tough. And if a bad attitude will take it out of the whole crew. If one intern has a bad attitude, it can hurt a lot of people. So keep that in mind, people, too, that attitude on the ranch goes a long ways.
yeah, I would agree.
Goes a long ways.
Because like even like the outside people that we hire for videoing, picturing, fertility testing, bulls, clipping, they're all great people like overall. And I think they make those jobs better. And I think that's what helps us keep a positive attitude because the people that we hire to be there to help this ranch continue what it's doing, they
the same
always have
mindset.
parties. Yeah, the mindset of like them too. Like they know it's long weeks, but they're trying to keep us happy. We're just trying to keep everyone happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Wade Fisher. We did our first
First
podcast with him.
podcast. Wade's the man.
Yeah, go back listen to that one. That was a good one. He's funny. Even if you don't know what he's talking about,
You're still gonna laugh.
you're still gonna like it. And then Dr. Poe and Gigi are great to be around. Like it's not good attitude goes a long way.
Yeah.
And they're not just for an internship, but
So
everything else.
how do you guys? Kate said one day at a time. What are your little tactics or tips?
I would agree with that, but I also am so passionate about this job in general. I think that's something that's also big. It's like if you're not happy doing the job that you're doing, don't be here.
Yeah.
Go find something that you are passionate about because I think that will also change someone's mindset. Because I'm passionate about this. I love doing it. Yes, some days it's hard to get up. Yes, some days are frustrating. Like you said, like we don't talk about it, but we mentally think it. And I just try to not let the negative energy affect me and then keep going on.
Yep.
you
So-
saying ranch fuel helps you?
Ranch fuel helps
Ranch
me
fuel helps you
all
get
the
through?
time.
And just being like really in the summer, it's just so nice to be wearing these ag gear shirts.
Yeah.
I think that's what you meant to say.
Yep, that's it.
Okay, yeah.
Ranch fuel and ag gear.
Yeah. Use that ag gear discount code.
Grace is looking
Like a
for a
brand.
sponsorship, so
Just quietly.
I don't think I would do very well with that. I don't post that much.
Well, as we wrap it up, do y'all have a question? and you may not, but I wanted to open it up for a question.
Question.
You don't get more. I don't have to answer it. I can edit it out.
Who are they? They're questioning. I'm only asking questions here. I'm not answering any questions.
Okay, y'all can ask questions to each other then.
I'm just kidding.
I have a question for you, Tucker.
Ooh.
What in a setting that you've grown up in?
Yeah.
What keeps you excited? What keeps you still passionate about this industry every day?
Good question.
Well, yeah, you can tell that I enjoy being around people who I say this a lot, not because Anna's just here, but if I could be around Steve Irwin or someone who's that excited about their job, like Donald Brown is about EPDs, whenever somebody is that passionate and that successful about what they are, that makes me want to be like, I want to do that.
Yeah. It's contagious.
I want to be that. I want to love something that much. Like, that looks fun. I want to love an animal as much as Steve Irwin does, or I want to love this podcast as much as Steve Irwin loves a snake wrapped around his hand. And
Cry case.
so I think that being around really good people helps, that we keep talking about here. But then also finding kind of what I can call mine, because it is the ranch. I'm the sixth generation. I'm always kind of under that umbrella, and it's almost like no matter what I do, there's always somebody who can say, well, because the ranch, because of your last name. And so finding something that was mine, whether that be doing beef, whether that be social media or the podcast, anytime I can still work on the ranch, be with the animals, but then have something to be that I can kind of put my print on, is what really keeps me going. Yeah. Because it's hard for me to just fall. Not that I need the spotlight, but whenever I don't have something that I can put my imprint on, is hard for me. Whenever I can call it mine, it helps me out.
Hey, roping them yearlings the other day, that's not genetic. That's just skill, son. That was you just balling. That was you just balling out there.
And I got a question for you, Willie. Being such an important part behind the scenes for registered ranching, the growth that y'all have had the last, only 30, 45 days since y'all really put this together?
Was it February 5th, 6th?
Yeah.
The 7th.
7th?
I mean, y'all have started fresh accounts, already put together quite a following. What do you want new followers to know about you, Tucker, and the ranch? What's something that could give them an inside look of who y'all are and why they should follow you?
I guess really I gotta give all the credit to Tucker and the brand that he's already created. I mean, it was pretty darn easy to make a YouTube channel with someone like Tucker that already has a great following, but also has a credibility as well. Because, I mean, I'm sure we've all scrolled through Instagram and you see these people and you're like, okay, like you can see it almost immediately when it's like, all right, this person is just decided to go to the store and buy a hat and cowboy. Like, they're almost playing Halloween every day, and they're trying to jump on the trend. And I'm not I'm really excited that there's I'm one of those kids. Like, I'm in that category. Like, I did not grow up in this at all. I've just been really fortunate to have people like Dale Brisby, the Frost brothers, the Brown family, Casey Mitchell, like so many great people.
That's a great network
that
you just named. Was that a flex?
Yeah, I was about to say.
That was a flex. I've worked for Dale Brisby, the Browns.
That's flexing on God. Like, for whatever reason, God has blessed me with all of these amazing people that not only are just individually, their character is just stand-up people, but then also just really handy sons of guns. Like, all of them. Like, Dale Brisby makes videos as jokes, but like when it actually comes down to it, like, the son of a gun is handy. And like the same thing like with you, like people can make fun of you as much as they want about TikToking and stuff, but I don't know very many TikTokers that would have gone out there with them yearlings and are able to still do, like, I'm not trying to like make you keep being my friend, but like you're a pretty handy son of a gun too. Like the same thing with the rest of your family. Like the first time I met Donald Brown, like we did a ranch tour with Dale, and he hopped up on Take a Pic with the Holter and was doing, and I was like, dang, this old guy's freaking good. But like,
Old guy.
I guess like what I would like people to know is just like, first off, the passion of not just the cowboying way of life, but also creating a connection between people like me and my family in Maryland and all of my friends that have no idea. Like, this is like coming to a different country. Like, and understanding and appreciating when they go to Walmart or they go to wherever to get their food, to get their beef, that they know everything that was put into it and know that it's a safe product. Like it's extremely healthy, extremely safe. I mean, you're seeing all this stuff about the carnivore diets. Like the proof's in the pudding. I mean, it's been like this for 100 years and it's been kind of skewed with, for whatever reason, politically or whatever, but beef is a great product. It's the best product. And being able to create that connection between the people that are eating it every day and the people that are raising it, I think would be a huge thing. But then also just our passion and our faith, I think would be what I want people to know.
Oh, that's definitely y'all's foundation, and that's something that I've noticed from the get-go. I remember conversations I've had with my parents. They'd ask me, like, well, you're a couple months in and you still seem to be speaking pretty highly of the family. Like, is it all still there? And it is. I mean, y'all have been consistent all the way through. Y'all have been incredibly teachable, patient with someone that doesn't have much background. So I'm just incredibly thankful. And Grace, I'm sure you can agree on this. And I'd like to just hear your perspective. You've been here for a year and you want to stay.
Yeah.
So this absolutely speaks volumes about the environment you're in, the people you're around. And I just didn't know if you had anything to add to that on what you appreciate or why you feel so at home here on the ranch and in Throckmorton, Texas.
The Brown family. The Brown family are, like we all said, they're so faithful. They're so passionate about what they do. And I think that's like, it's so great to go to work every single day because, like, yeah, we have our hard days, like I've said, but I just think everyone's just so happy to be working, to be making this ranch so much better than what it already is. And I think that's why, like, I'm so glad I get to stay and that they have given me this opportunity is because I get to be with another, like, family. I count them as my second family.
Absolutely.
I don't know if they count me as their second
I'm
family.
sure they do.
But I think that's something that's so great to see a ranch be very faithful and they give to God for giving this, like, place to them. And they're, like, everything they do is just around faith. And I think that's a big thing that you should look for in a job.
100%.
Yep.
I feel it as well. And a quick question for Anna, if you can get to the microphone.
Yes.
Being from outside of the States, what is going to be your biggest takeaway, whether it's a funny memory or a practice within raising cattle? What are you going to take home back to Australia that you're going to remember or put into practice?
Swimming without the fear of crocs.
Yes, that's a big one.
That was pretty
my
crazy
goodness,
to think
that was
about.
hilarious.
Not being hunted by crocodiles.
That's right.
I don't know. There's so many things, like so many memories that I already have that I already look back so happily on. Like just hanging out with you guys. You guys always making jokes. It's so funny to listen to you. And then just riding around, working. Like I love it all. Like I'll remember so many things from it. There's not one specific thing really that I will
You'll remember
take
so much you can't name any.
Yeah.
That's right.
I actually can't think of one off the top of my head, but
Probably the wheel cakes.
Wheel
definitely
cakes.
the wheel cakes. No, I remember laughing with Grace one night when you guys pulled us over in with the lights.
That is pretty fun.
core memory.
Oh, my goodness.
I was crying.
Were you there for that,
So
Tucker?
hard.
I was not there for that.
So there's
it was the light on the
there's that
Ranger.
little flashing light, and like I don't know why we were.
It's from
You
the
called
manager.
me and you said that like, hey, we had to go and get all the cows gathered up from the Little King and bring them.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
And
like,
this was at, 9 o'clock
Yeah.
at night?
so I was like, we get finished up and it's late, and I was like, dude, like we just buzzed out. Like we love hot rodding, like not anything malicious. Like we're not actually doing any big jumps, Tucker, on the Rangers, but like. We like messing around. So I was like, dude, there's that flashing light in the saddle house. So we went and got it and we're pretending to be cops and like waited and like was pulling them over and like step out of the vehicle and like yeah, there's this flashing light and it was eerily eerily accurate, I felt like, but
R.A.
it was
What
fun.
was it? RABPD?
All right, yeah.
RAB
RABPD.
Police Department.
Gotta watch your
RABPD.
speed.
Mm-hmm.
Seatbelts on.
That's hilarious.
It was better when Anna and I hid.
Oh, yeah.
Turned our lights off.
So we turned
Turned
our
the
light off and
Ranger
we're just
off.
like looking for
And
them.
we were like hiding in the Ranger,
Oh
being
my
like,
God.
they can't
You
see
were
us.
telling me to shush.
I was telling her to be quiet because
They
we were
in
laughing.
They couldn't hear us anyway. It was so
But-
funny.
Oh my gosh.
Core memory.
Yes, definitely.
Hey, that's what you get. You may get paid more in other places,
Yeah.
but I like to think that we got a lot of hands-on opportunities and then a lot of good people to be around. I think that's worth a lot.
Working for the experience,
Working for the experience.
not the money.
Yeah, I like how Grace has said that a lot, that it's not necessarily the monetary value what she's equating success to here. It's the general happiness, because you can build your mansion and you can have all the money in the world and you could still be one of the most miserable people on the planet. Like, I think, and like also like I don't want it to be misread as like, I think like being financially secure is a huge thing. Like that needs to be a priority. But if you're just so focused on getting rich and making a ton of money, like, is it worth sacrificing your relationships with your family, with your friends, and not doing something you truly enjoy?
Hey, when that YouTube hits, we're going to have air conditioner in here, though.
We are going to have AC when the
It'd be
YouTube.
nice. It's a little bit warm for
No,
the
it's getting
listeners at
fixed.
home.
Okay, it's getting fixed.
So like that's another thing too, like personally with registered ranching, is like we're not trying to make, I mean, sure we want to be popular and everything, but we're not trying to make a fortune off of it. We're really just trying to accomplish the goal of educating and entertaining people with what we're doing on a daily basis, like just sharing like what's attracting Grace to want to keep staying here, and the reason why the reason why I'm here.
Yeah.
Because we want other people to at least be able to experience, even if it's just watching a 10-minute video on YouTube, what we are so blessed to be able to see on a day-to-day basis. Like to the point where like 7 or 8 o'clock at night rolls around, or 5 o'clock, like we get done at all different times. But when the day gets done and you know that you're heading home, like you're sad. Like you're looking forward to that next morning at 7 o'clock and rolling up to the saddle house there, and there's Cade saying, "Oh, I need my AirPods today," or like, well, like it's such a great group, and you know that no matter what we're about to get into, like we're gonna have a smile on our face, and it's gonna be a good time. And like being able to share that, I guess, going back to Cade's question, that would be my mission of registered ranching, is sharing that for other people, even if it is just a 10-minute video.
I think that's also something I'm going to add when you ask me like what applicants should do. Don't look at the money. Like I know there's so many internships out there that pay $15, $20 an hour. And yeah, that'd be great because you're making money.
Well, and I bet
like great money, but is it really helping your experience? Like, are you only choosing to go to that internship because of the money?
Sure.
And I think that's where someone like that looks like at a ranching internship, like, yeah, the pay is not like all there, but you're getting your experience is your work. And I think that trumps money any day.
Yeah.
So I think that's another thing is like, stop focusing on money.
Yeah.
Like your life will probably be a little bit happier if you stop. Like I know money is great to have.
Just not a priority.
Don't blow it all at the Western Heritage. Don't do that. But
Willie.
Really, do you know someone who did that?
No, I do not. I got Carrot Kelly bit though, so flex.
2 of them.
Flex.
Broke.
Well, thanks so much for being on the podcast, Cade. You have 5 days left.
So sad.
Cade's last podcast.
Kate's last day.
He survived the big jump.
They're going to be wondering what that is.
Yeah,
They're going to have to be
they are.
another one.
They are.
There might be a big jump coming up.
There's going to have to be another one.
It's coming to an end, but I just want to say thank you, Tucker, and to all of y'all and your family for just having me out here, having the patience and willingness to teach and all these different aspects of ranching and beef cattle production. So thank you.
Heck yeah, back to Aggie land you go.
Yes, sir.
Don't spend too much time at the stumbling chicken or whatever it's called.
Go Raiders.
At the chicken, yes, sir.
Wreck them.
Anna, thanks so much for being on the podcast, and so glad to have you here from across that big pond.
Thank
Aussie,
you for
Aussie,
having
Aussie.
me.
Oi, oi, oi.
Yeah, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Grace, you're not going anywhere. I can't get rid of you.
Another 2 years.
I'm a full-time
Womp,
intern.
womp.
Congratulations on that. That is really cool.
Thank you.
Now we're excited.
Hadn't happened in a long time. Well, Willie,
Tucker,
we're back onto it. Back on the road.
we're back on the road.
Back to the ranch, anyway.
Yeah.
But what do? We talked about today. We ranch and we stay classy.
Stay classy and we ranch on them.
Bingo. The website coming up pretty quick.
Very
Be able to buy some merch
posters.
that you can see some of the clips on YouTube.
Yeah.
Not all of it, but you can
Then
see
you can
some
just
of the
go to
clips,
the YouTube and watch all of it.
all the videos.
You can see these interns and put a face to the voices.
Yeah, and there's some of them that are single.
Some of them are single.
Maybe you can figure it out.
Grace is single.
Doing this.
Anna's single.
Whoa.
Cade isn't
music.
single.
Watch out for those acre chasers, though, isn't that
Watch
right?
out for the acre chase.
That's
Watch
right.
out for the acre chasers. You've been listening to the Registered Ranching Podcast. Until next time, y'all stay classy and ranch on them.